And the Oscar goes to Martin Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese is a one-of-a-kind director with unparalleled ambition and a creative eye for cinema. What I have found through this course to be Martin Scorsese's greatest characteristic is his ability to think like an editor first and a director second. Nearly all of Martin Scorsese's films are masterclasses in film editing, and that is thanks to the wonderful Thelma Schoonmaker. Schoonmaker believes Scorsese's talents as a director stem from thinking like an editor. Scorsese has very defined ideas about how to shoot a scene, and he's an editor himself. We cut together. It means he's constantly thinking about my problems while he's filming. It's wonderful to work on footage by someone who understands how to get it cut right, which a lot of directors don't. Schoonmaker's abilities as an editor challenge the traditional idea that editing must be invisible to audiences.
A lot of people think editing should be invisible, but we've never felt that way. We always like to slap the audience in the face.
Editors are the instruments that piece the film together and create emotion. They accomplish this by knowing when to cut, what to cut to, when to place music, and having overall rhythmic pacing through each individual scene. While Schoonmaker and Scorsese have gone above and beyond in the post-production process through each of their films, the one that I want to focus on today is Cape Fear. A surprising influence on Scorsese's remake came from British filmmaker Alfred Hitchcock, who was known as the master of suspense. Scorsese discovered the influence of Hitchcock from the original 1962 version of the film. Director J. Lee Thompson mirrored the British filmmaker's cinematic tropes with unique lighting and cinematography. Scorsese paid homage to the original by injecting his own cinematic style through the editing process, specifically in 3 iconic scenes that enhanced elements of horror and suspense. The first scene I would like to discuss is the fireworks scene. The scene begins with Sam and Lee making love as the fireworks light up the night sky. The two interlock fingers as the photography fades into an X-ray filter, signifying the evil that approaches. We crossfade into Lee's eyes as a hint of yellow wakes her. Lee caresses her skin gently and applies pink lipstick, almost as if she is in a sexual fantasy. We get a showcase of Scorsese's favorite color, red. The scarlet palette underscores emotional distress, danger, and despair. We get another burst of red as she watches the fireworks through the window. Schoonmaker decides to cut to a close-up of Lee's eyes. Although quick, it creates a second longer of suspense. These quick cuts both create suspense and mystery, as Schoonmaker's edits indicate that Katie is everywhere. She wakes Sam and the two exit the house to search the backyard. As soon as the door opens, however, the score fades out.
I want you the hell off my property!
Scorsese and Schoonmaker did this purposefully to suggest that the score follows Katie. Once Sam exits frame after searching the backyard, we see Lee smother her lips with her finger, and then again from an extreme close-up, ending the scene. The structure of the scene feels like the beginning of the Bowden's nightmare. Lee's dreams of sin provoked Katie's presence. Schoonmaker could have ended the scene on a medium shot, but found it necessary to emphasize Lee's sinful thoughts through the use of another shot of her pink lips. The second scene I would like to discuss is the lead-up and execution of Katie's intrusion into the Bowden's home. Schoonmaker starts with an establishing shot of the Bowden's home as storm clouds brew in the air. Everyone is on edge. Katie lurks outside and the family are sitting ducks. We get a shot of Danny in her room looking out the window. It's almost as if she can sense Katie's presence. The score continues to build as we cut to the teddy bear from far away. We cut to Sam and Lee lying awake in fear, then back to a push-in on a clock, which could symbolize Katie's time of vengeance has come. Schoonmaker cuts back and forth from Claude, the detective, to the bear, creating tension as we look for movement. We cut to a close-up of the bear, only this time, it moves. We cut to Sam waking up. This X-ray filter is the same one used in the fireworks scene, resembling Katie's shadow among the Bowden's home. Schoonmaker switches back to Claude as he enters the kitchen and sits down.
Sleep, huh, Miss Graziella?
Yeah, it's hot.
Schoonmaker purposefully holds on the shot of Claude pouring himself a drink while audiences fear for his safety.
My pop was a cop. 20 years. This is his favorite drink. He's on stakeout.
The reveal of Katie dressed as the maid is made even more terrifying with the inclusion of creepy sound design. The L cut of the gunshot motivates the switch back up to the Bowden's room. We as an audience heard the gunshot, so we want to know exactly how the Bowdens are reacting upstairs. This entire scene is perfectly executed by Schoonmaker for holding tension beyond its point of release. The threat of Katie works so well. He is not a character that goes around waving guns or knives in your face, but you think he might. And those moments when he does unleash his potential power is just terrifying because you've been dreading it for so long. The final confrontation between Max, Katie, and Sam Bowden was the first scene tackled by Schoonmaker. She spent over 5 weeks cutting this climactic showdown together. She needed to properly build up from the beginning to pace the film accordingly. The confrontation begins as the storm spins the boat around, allowing a moment for Lee and Danny to escape. Sam is about to jump when Katie throws him to the ground. The gun goes loose and the two begin to battle it out. An interesting choice of editing comes into play as the men are thrown off the boat and into the water. The splash of the water is played in reverse as the men are sucked into the storm, chewed up, and spit out onto land, where the shot of the water plays in real time. Scorsese is iconic for his gritty and realistic violence that he showcases throughout each of his films. The final fight between Max and Sam is no exception. You can feel every strike thrown through Schoonmaker's cutting on action as well as the accurate sound design. Schoonmaker cuts back and forth from the rock to the waves to the faces of Sam and Max, creating an immense amount of tension and suspense. We're waiting for Sam to seal his fate until... Schoonmaker lingers on shots of Katie as he begins to drown. She could have made his death quick and flashy, but after everything that has transpired, the pacing of the scene deserves to slow down. We've learned throughout the film that Katie is beyond human and a force to be reckoned with. We will not believe that he is dead unless we see it. It's a form of closure provided by Schoonmaker, for Sam and audiences to watch Katie disappear for good. Sam washes his hands in the water, a symbolism of washing away his sins perfectly captured by Schoonmaker's shot choice and fixation on Sam's bloody hands and facial expressions. After the blood is washed off, Schoonmaker decides to cut to a wide shot, letting it linger longer than it should, in order to emphasize that Sam is now safe from the chaos and evil of Max Cady. Film editing is one of the most important elements when crafting a film. Without it, there would be no emotional range, stories would be poorly paced, and the characters would stay undeveloped. Scorsese's knowledge of post-production is what separates him from other directors within the industry. He is willing to go the extra mile to enhance emotion and leave his mark on every single scene throughout his film. Scorsese's eye for editing, combined with Schoonmaker's talents, is what separates them from the rest of the industry, and sets Cape Fear as a new standard for the thriller genre.